All right. Hello,
Hi.
everybody out there listening. My name is Quentin Wilson, and I am a energy healer. Many of you might be familiar with me as well. Working at Be Intuitive, that's a store here in San Diego, but I'm also just doing things on my own as well too. But my partner here, Janine Williams, she's
Hello.
also an energy healer, and we've been studying together. We've known each other for a year now. We're going through a program called the 13 Personalities. And just to give you a little synopsis about that, is that it's an in-depth study of each and every astrological sign, and it gives us the powers and all of the principles and the purposes and the keys to all of these signs. Also the darker aspects, as well too, because there is polarity in everything. So we've known each other for that length of time, and we've gotten to know each other. So we just decided to come on and do a little series, just to help humanity in a way. So Janine, if you want to introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Janine Williams. Like Quentin said, I am an energy healer. I'm also an empowerment self-relationship coach. And, Quentin and I, like he had explained, that we've been, in this soul mastery class for the last year, but we've been receiving the same messages lately. We've been downloading them. And when we came together and started comparing, what we've been receiving, we thought, okay, we're supposed to come together somehow. So that's why we decided to do this series and just share, what's coming in, so we can, share it with each and every one of you. And if it can help you in your journey, then great. That's what we're here for, to be able to help humanity the best we can during this ascension. So, all right. I'm going to start. I will tell you what came in today. Was I heard the word heal, and then I saw a dark alley. So to me, that was representing, obviously, we understand what healing means. And I do a lot with around the heart and healing the heart, coming back home to self, where all of our answers are. But it's also the dark alley is the dark emotions, the dark side, whatever, what label we want to put on it. It's about, for me, it's becoming friends with it. It's making peace with it, because like Quentin said, everything is a polarity. So we're going to experience things that will bring us down, break our hearts, but it's what we choose to do with that information and that experience. And if we choose to stay there, if we're going to stay stuck, and like I was saying to Quentin, going down into the rabbit hole and trying to claw your way up, but you've already, started developing anxiety and stress and, living in fear and depression. And then it's so hard to get out of that hole. So do you want to share, Quentin, what you've been dreaming lately? Because it's around the same, idea.
Yeah. I was telling Janine, I just finished a class, an online class, while I went back to rewatch some videos, and we study under the same teacher. So this particular teacher, Arturo Gaitan, he has a protection class, protection from just evil spirits, evil entities, things of that nature. And one of the things that he just said, and Janine actually just said this, but allow that fear to be your friend right there. So, it's just all about the acknowledgement of that darker side, or just those fears and those things that go bump in the night, whatever those things are. I mean, they don't even have to just go bump in the night. They can go bump in the middle of the day. A lot of times it doesn't matter where it is or what time it is, but it's just all about acknowledging it. And then that way we have more control. We have more power over it. My dreams, when Janine was talking about the dark alley, and some of my dreams lately have kind of centered around a dark alley as well too. But just as she says, it's all about finding that light. It's all about clawing your way or getting your way out of it. And now that I'm thinking about it and talking about it, and no, we were speaking earlier and I told her a few of those dreams about the alleys, but this one in particular that I'm remembering now, I wasn't even in an alley. I was just in the dark, period. And I wasn't afraid, but I was just kind of looking around and just wondering, okay, well, what's going on? And then I saw a light behind me. And for some reason, that made me afraid. And because then it started to illuminate some things. So now that I'm saying this, and it's making more sense, because stumbling around in the dark, and when we are in the dark, when we have been there for so long, it becomes comfortable. It becomes very comfortable to the point that we can't see anymore, but we know we're fine where we are. But then once that little bit of light starts to come in and shine and illuminate the things that are around us, then it makes us uncomfortable. And then we want to run from it because we've been in this place of fear. We've been in this place of darkness, anxiety, depression, anger sometimes, for some of us, anger, whatever that is for us, that we have become accustomed to it. So when something comes in to show us what's around, we run from it. It's so interesting that the fact that, we're on this video and doing this recording right now, and I've not thought about that dream maybe in a couple days. So maybe I had this dream maybe 3 weeks ago or so, and I've not thought about it in a while, but now as I'm speaking, I'm saying, oh, well, now ding, 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 lights on, literally light is on. And, it's making more sense now, because I once was in a place of just being in the dark, and because I was depressed, because I was angry, because I was in Heartbreak Hotel. I was telling Janine, that's what I call one of these certain cards that comes out. I'm a tarot reader as well too, an oracle reader. So one of the cards that comes out is a Heartbreak Hotel card. And as I told her, we can check into Heartbreak Hotel because we can land there for a number of reasons, whether it is heartbreak, literally, but heartbreak from not only our lovers, but from our family, from our friends, from our loved ones, from ourselves. And
I think we're seeing that now, Quentin. I think a lot of people are experiencing now, and I'd like to touch on that. If you are, when, with everything that's going on in the world, and there's a lot of fear being projected out to everyone. So depending on what you choose to watch, pay attention. How does it feel in your body? I think, it's so important for people to start really listening to their bodies, because our bodies has so much wisdom. And, the whole arguing and, splitting, we're seeing families fight because, someone chooses to get, something done and someone else chooses not to get it done. But the person that doesn't get it done is, they're wrong for getting it done, or vice versa. But when we can just all learn to just say, hey, you know what? That works for you. It doesn't work for me. And we just all stay neutral, then we can really transcend through everything that's going on at very more easier. Does that's not even a word, but go skate through it. We'll just say that. And then sometimes people were concerned that they're never going to see their family members again. But that saying, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it never was. I think right now we should all just almost use that as, okay, I'll set you free. We're not on the same page, but I got to think of how this feels in my body. Because arguing never feels good. Because again, that's dismantling that dark side. Or looking at it saying, it's okay. It's okay that we agree to disagree.
And that's what we begin to check out of the hotel. As I was saying, we can stay
Exactly.
there. We can stay there for a minute, but the key is we cannot allow ourselves to become trapped there, whatever
Yes.
that is for us. So it's all about, as you said, allowing your body to feel and believe, because without the
Oh, yeah.
belief right there, then it's really no point
Yeah.
to all this. So it comes a point where we have to really put that belief, that hope, and hope unlocks the door to faith right there. So,
Well, you talk about faith.
uh-huh,
There's no fear in faith.
it doesn't exist. It
It
can't
does
exist.
not,
There's no
it
room
can't.
for it.
There's no room for it. So to me, personally, fear is an illusion. Fear is an illusion because we all have been taught to believe in yourselves, believe in your knowing.
Mhm.
Like as an intuitive, and this is something I've experienced my whole entire life, but I didn't realize it when I was younger. I didn't understand why I knew things that other people didn't know. I mean, like, I knew that my best friend's mother had breast cancer, and no one even told me she had breast cancer. I was 12. How was I
Yeah.
supposed to know that? You know what I'm saying? But
That was that claircognizance kicking in, just knowing something, that
just
clear
knowing
knowledge.
it. Yeah. I seeing my third grade teacher in the parking lot, and I told my mom, never even seen the woman ever in my life. And I said, she's going to be my third grade teacher. And my mom's like, you don't even know she's a teacher here. So, and sure enough, she was my third grade teacher. It's, that knowing. So when we can all just come back to that place, that knowing, we don't need someone on the outside telling us because we already know.
It's already external, it's already internal. And
Exactly.
fear is, and I heard this, one of my favorite personalities, I like to follow certain people on YouTube as well too. And, they give me a lot of guidance and they open my eyes to a lot of things. And she says that fear stands for false experience appearing real. So it's a false experience appearing real. That's what fear is right there.
I like that. I like that.
So, of course, and not to say that every single day of our life and that we're living is going to be peachy keen and sunshine and roses and unicorns. No, that's just not the reality of it. However, these experiences, they show up in our life and they show up in many different forms, in the external. But one, that's here to grow us and to allow us to experience. But then two, is also to just really, the universe is pretty much asking, how strong is your belief? How strong is your faith right now? Yes, we have to kind of put little things in your way or give you little tests right there. But the reason we are giving you this test is just to build your strength, build your resiliency, build your character. And just also, as I said, just showing up in many different forms, because they will always show up in a form. But the thing about it is, when we've gone through these experiences before and we finally get it and say, okay, I understand what this is, I understand why it's happening or why it's showing up. The more and more that happens, the quicker that we will be able to check ourselves out of that hotel, to check ourselves out of the emotions. Because sometimes and as you said before, we just have to step back. We have to let go, because the more that we try to hold on to something, the more and more that it's going to have us on that hamster wheel. Right.
So I'm going to tell a story, something that happened to me almost 3 years ago. And when it happened, I said to my husband, this was all supposed to happen for a bigger reason. I don't know what it is yet, but I just know it was supposed to happen. But did I stay there? No, because I got it all up in my head. And when you get all up in your head and you create all these different stories, and then you go into the rabbit hole. I worked with a coach, and I remember it was March, May, June, July, 4 months. into, everything that I was going through. And one day I just said to her, I can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was mentally exhausted to the point that, and I've never been clinically depressed, but I said, I really feel that I'm becoming clinically depressed. And I just have no more energy to do this. I was doing it to myself.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing it to me. I was doing it to myself. And then I remember shortly after that, one day, I don't even know where this came from, Quentin, but one day I said to her, I am the light and I do not belong in the darkness. I have to get out of here. So it's like I had that light bulb went off and said, I got to get out of this rabbit hole that I put myself in. So it's like I was reaching up and literally asking her, pull me out.
Yeah.
Help me pull me out, because that's really what it was. And so when I see like a dark alley, there's so many people out there right now that they don't know, they're in that rabbit hole, but they don't know how to get out. Well, Quentin and I are here to help you get out of that rabbit hole, get out of that dark alley, guide you whatever way that we possibly can, because none of us need to suffer through this. It's becoming friends with those emotions and understand those emotions are a message to you. And the more we start clearing all of this and making friends and being okay with these emotions, feel them, but move them through us, then we're going to see a total shift in what's going on in this world.
Mm-hmm. That's what the emotions are there for. The emotions are there to kick us into gear, As I said, we can become very comfortable in them, but then there comes that point where, okay, we need to make some kind of move. If we don't make a move, sometimes the universe comes in to say, well, if you're not going to, then all right, we have to do something right here. Yes, we love you. Yes, we care about you, but we see better for you. We see much further than what you can see. So sometimes the universe might give us something that we're not really happy with, but it makes us move. It makes us do something. It makes us take some kind of action right there. And now you said something a few minutes ago, and it just made me, and okay, and another thing about me, you all, songs just go through my head. My head is like a jukebox, and Mariah Carey Butterfly started playing in my head when you said sometimes you have to let it go, and I'm just thinking, spread your wings and fly, of course. So it does hurt. I'm not going to, sugarcoat it. It does hurt when we have to let go of relationships, whatever those relationships are, whatever form they may show up in your life. It does hurt. But ask yourself a question. Would you rather hurt for the short term, just letting it go and going through the emotions and going on and dealing with, the traumas and dealing with your emotions and taking inventory into those? Or would you rather stay in something and have it hurt for the long term?
Right.
As Janine said, sometimes we just have to make those decisions and make those choices. We may not know exactly how it's going to turn out. We can't see all the way down the road, but we can see right here in this moment. We can see right here in this moment, what is this doing to us? How is this affecting us? How is this affecting my health? How is this affecting my my work, my job, my other relationships?
Yes.
How is this affecting me in the short term? We can deal with that. Again, we don't have to know what's going to happen down the road, but the one thing that we can guarantee more than likely is when we step out of it right now, we are going to eventually begin to release those feelings, and we are going to start to feel better. So that's where that faith comes in, though. That's where that faith comes in, because we have to understand and we have to realize that there is something better that is coming, that is something better down the road. It could be, and just going back to what she said, and even the song, you release something, if it returns or if it comes back to you, it was meant for you. If it doesn't, then guess what? We still moved, we still made a choice. So no, maybe it didn't return, but maybe something else or someone better, returns in some different form right there that is going to have a better result or a better outcome for us. So,
but I think the biggest thing that people need to realize, because none of us were taught this, is our own self relationship, the self relationship we have with ourselves, how we talk about ourselves, to ourselves, how we treat our, bodies. Our body is our temple. So not only looking at the foods that we put in and the drinks that we drink and the products that we use, but what are the thoughts?
The thoughts.
What are the emotions? And pay attention, those thoughts that you're thinking, how do they feel in your body? I was working with a 16-year-old today, and I was doing some energy work on her. And, she feels a lot like in her gut and on her shoulders. And after doing all that clearing, obviously we were able to lift it, but 16 years old. And she's, feeling all of what's going on out in the world and in her own personal experience. But we don't have to stay there. There are different modalities to help us relieve some of that as we are working with our thoughts, because our thoughts will activate all kinds of different emotions in the nervous system that will sometimes take you in the rabbit hole and you don't even realize it. I will tell you, sometimes like with jobs, because I know a lot of people are dealing with jobs, making that decision on whether or not they stay with their jobs is, yes, at first it can be scary. But I know me personally, what I've experienced when I've had like a job, like say a company went under and I end up losing, my job, like we all lost our job and we're all devastated. I always end up with a better job, with a better company.
Yeah.
And, it's same thing like years ago, this was like in the 90s, I was engaged and I was devastated when that relationship ended. But oh my God, my life was like after like I did all the healing, I experienced things that I had never experienced before. So it allowed me to grow and experience life in a different way. Would I have experienced it if I stayed with that person? No. I wouldn't. So we just never know.
We never know. And it's the fact that you even mentioned the job, and a year ago, almost 2 years ago now, when this pandemic, began in 2020, it pretty much began in around March or so, because I remember I worked at the Naval Hospital here in San Diego, and I used to be active duty for people who don't know. I was active duty Navy. I was active duty for 9 years. Even going back to then, I made a decision that it was time for me to separate. And some people looked at me crazy and just, of course, the comments are saying, well, oh my God, why would you, separate now? You're almost halfway there, 20 years to retirement. But I said, this is a choice that, one, is for me that I have to make. And two, I feel as if this is the time that I need to do this. And I got out. I went to school full time. I wound up getting my bachelor's degree, and it's so funny. I wound up going back to the Naval Hospital, but I was working there as a civilian, just as my internship while I was in school. But just to say all of that, I didn't know what was going to happen when I got out. Yes, I was a bit afraid, but I just knew something within me was just saying, go. Just do it, just jump. And I did. And here I am, I'm still surviving. Now, fast forwarding to the pandemic. So working at the Naval Hospital, I wound up going through and getting a contractor's job there for the government. And I was full time, at that point. And I had gone back to school. So I wound up getting my master's by that point. And it was all just divine timing, because when I was going through a period of no job security, no financial security, and just a relationship that had hit the fan, everything was blowing up around me. So I said, you know what, I'm going back to school. And that's what I did. And around that time, I wound up getting the full-time job, the contractor's job. So last year, I felt that, okay, I need an exit. I feel as if something is coming, or I feel as if my soul is needing something more. So what do I do? How do I do this? I said, okay, universe, God, give me something. Like, I hear you telling me to make a move, but what am I supposed to do? Boom, we get a whole pandemic. Now, I did not mean for the world to shut down and all of that, you know. I didn't mean for all of that to happen, but I said, well, wait a minute. You know, after a few weeks of kind of working from home, and just when we were you know, on seclusion and everything, I said, well, this is my exit plan right here. This is what I've been waiting for. And the end of April, beginning of May of last year, 2020, that's when I left my job, you know, at the hospital. And again, most people will look at me just crazy. How could you leave your job in the middle of a pandemic? I was even asking myself that question. And I'm a Capricorn here, and I'm all about the structure, the finances, just the responsibility. And I'm just thinking, what am I doing quitting my job in the middle of a pandemic right here? This is
So why
crazy.
did you? Why did you?
As I said, one, I kept seeing a vision of an exit sign. I would just see this exit sign, and and it's funny because I gave this message to someone, you know, about their own circumstance and what they were going through at the time. But then the exit sign began to appear to me as well too. So I said, okay, my message is boomeranging back to me in some way. So what is this saying for me? And I just knew it. I said, this job is not for me. Yes, it is stable. Yes, it is secure. It is something that is making me money, but I'm not happy here. That's the thing. I'm not happy. I'm not finding any joy in this. And by that point, I had began to take my classes. I began to get into a lot of my spiritual healing practices and to my cards and to all of my energy work. So all of this, and I was beginning to really understand me. And so I said, okay, I'm meant for so much more than just to sit in this office right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And another card that I kept seeing around that time, I kept seeing the Fool card. So the Fool card is jumping off of that cliff, is taking a chance. If you're familiar with that card, and those of you out there watching, if you're familiar with that card, it's a man on it who is teetering on the edge of a cliff. He's not paying attention, but he is having the time of his life. He is having fun, because even going over that cliff, guess what? Those hands are going to catch him and lift him right back up and protect him. So that's how I felt. I kept seeing that card and I said, you know what? It's time to just take this leap. It's time to just don't think about it. You already have it in your mind. You already know what you need to do. No, you can't. Again, I can't see down that road, but I know right here in the short term, I need something else. And I did that. And now, a year and a half, almost 2 years later, I've jumped into my my healing work, all of my spiritual work. I've learned so much more about myself, about my own healing process. And the more and more that I began to really heal myself, the more and more that it is coming out in my work that I'm doing for other people as well too. So it's a two-way street right there. So it all comes back to me. And I've been protected this whole time. I've been stable, you know, this whole time, you know, just with things, because I listen to my intuition. I listen to my body. I listen to myself, and I took that chance. So.
Yeah. And you know what? I did that with my relationship.
Yeah.
My heart just, I mean, if anybody, the best way to describe this, which at the time I didn't realize what it was, but the circumstances don't matter. But what matters is when you are aligned with your soul, higher self, the divine, and your heart opens up and you just see all these different people that were involved in something that the ego would, kick and scream and yell and start probably beating people up.
Yes.
But your heart just opens up and you see all these hurt souls. I say hurt souls, but making decisions basically not for their highest good, but just see these hurt people that they made decisions from really their ego, not their divine self. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes.
So the question is, who do you want to be? Do you want to be more in your human self, which is the ego? Or do you want to align with your divine self where things just like roll off of you? I mean, and things never used to roll off, but that particular time, it was, most people thought I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, they really did.
Okay, I've been saying that for the last couple days, just with random things. That same phrase, "cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs."
Cocoa Puffs.
We are in alignment.
Yes, y'all have to understand. Quentin and I are very much in alignment. But think about it, Quentin. You're a Capricorn. I'm a Libra, and what did we learn? That Capricorns and Libras, like Libras, are here to help Capricorns, like sort of kind of shine that flashlight. So I think that's the reason why we're so in sync, because I think Capricorns and Libras are. There's another woman that I received a message to contact, and I just learned today she's a Capricorn. So something with me and Capricorn. So if y'all are Capricorns, contact me, because
But I have like 3 planets in Libra in my birth chart, but it's actually funny that when was it? This was 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago. I have a friend. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but every once in a while we'll reconvene and reconnect and catch up on with each other. But this particular friend, and at the time he was just an acquaintance, but he came into my life when I had put the final nail in that relationship, that I was talking about before. And I know if I get into that right now, this would be a whole other hour. So we'll do that another time. But it was a relationship, that it opened my eyes to a lot of things. But I was still hurting. I was still in pain. I was still in anger. But he stepped into my life at the time that it was needed, because I felt that I was on a trajectory and I was kind of just going down, right there. But he's a Libra. I say all that to say he's a Libra, and him being in my space for, a certain amount of time, he really did shine the light on a lot of things that I had been ignoring, and things that made me very uncomfortable to talk about, to speak about, to admit, not only to other people, but even just to myself, period. So, I'm forever grateful, for him, right there. Just coming in and being that sounding board, being my therapist. I feel as if we were kind of each other's therapists right there. But as I said, it really just, like you said, it shone that light on just everything that I needed to work on, right there. So,
well, I will say it goes both ways, because you're mentioning that, and that relationship that I told you ended, like, this was a long time ago. The first man that approached me after that, the night that I met him, he invited me to go to Venezuela, and nobody had ever asked me to go anywhere. So I was a little shocked and I was a little hesitant. He was a Capricorn. And we were together for 6 months. And the only reason why, I say the only reason, I mean, there's there's never any accidents, right? But the relationship ended because I wasn't healed. But he shined a flashlight that made me realize that I am desirable, and that, another man did want to be with me, because of course, when I was going through my breakup, it was because he stepped out in the relationship. That crushes
Yeah.
the ego. It just does. It crushes the ego, and then you feel less than. But this Capricorn shined the light on and really made me feel special, and made me realize that I am worthy of a healthy relationship, a balanced relationship. Yeah. And he was a Capricorn. So that goes both ways.
Obviously. So.
Yeah. So I know we're going off on like different, but I think it's important for people to understand that, hey, guys, we've been there too. We're still doing the work too. It is an ongoing thing. But how do we want to do it? Do we want to do it with ease and flow? Or do we want to resist and it's like playing tug of war with the universe? You're going to dig your heels in the ground and just pull as hard as you can? Because the only person we're hurting in when we do that is ourselves.
It's ourselves. I mean, as the saying goes, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the difficult way.
Yeah.
Either way, the universe is pretty much saying, either way, we are going to do this, but the choice is yours.
Exactly. And this is a vision that I received. Those that choose, and there's no right or wrong, whatever you choose. But this is what I was shown, like the earth, as she continues to vibrate higher and ascend, those that aren't doing the work, and I'm not saying this to scare anyone, but this is the vision that I got, it was like fleas being knocked off of her. So I think I know that we all agreed to be here during this time and to assist in this evolution. The question is, are you going to do the work and transform? Because the earth is transforming. She's transforming. And what I was shown several months ago was that each and every one of us is being asked to transform too, through the inside out is what I was shown.
It's I was looking at some social media things yesterday, and I noticed that a few people that I knew, they were out and about, I guess Sunday Fun Day, and they were at this little spot up the street from my place called Inside Out or something. So
Quentin is famous about finding those little links, right?
It's the little synchronicities for me. I love those.
Well, remember the one of the times that we this was last year that we connected, and because you did my card reading, and I said I had this during my meditation, I was shown a Nike shoe, and I said, I think the message is, because it focused, because it was a red Nike symbol, just do it.
Just do it.
And it was to start my own YouTube page, because that's guys, if you know me, well, you don't know me, but you know me. I mean, I can talk to anybody, but it's something about a camera that is like, oh, so I had to get over that. So yeah, you go to I'll post this on my YouTube page, but yeah.
Well, and I maybe I told you the same thing, because I've started my YouTube. I started mine in August of 2020, and for months I was procrastinating, and I knew it was a channel that I needed to get started, because on my channel I do my readings. I do the zodiac readings, I do general readings. Some of them I've just gotten on camera and I've just given a message, whatever it is that spirit is giving me, no cards on there. But for weeks, the Nike logo and the emblem and everything, the slogan, it was all in my energy, just do it. And I was just thinking to myself, okay, well, maybe this is for me. Spirit is saying, just do this channel, just get on here and give this message, our messages that we are giving you. I was making all kinds of excuses. I was saying, oh, well, I want to wait until I have a nicer computer, or I need lighting. Oh, I need this, I need that. Spirit just said, use what you have. Use what you have right now. And me just doing it, it started to become so much fun. I mean, if you go back and watch some of my early YouTube videos, you can see how stiff I was in them. But now I'm so, I'm not, I just get in the camera, in front of the camera, and I just do it now. And I crack jokes and I just have fun. I engage more and I just talk more about my own experiences, because that's what people are going through. So there's no use in us having these gifts, these talents, these abilities, all of these things that have been given to us, if we are not going to share them in some way or share them on some kind of platform, you know, right there.
Right.
So,
well, you know, you know that I've received messages through dream state, through meditation, and some I've shared and some I haven't shared. And I think because I didn't share all of it, my throat chakra closed up, and then I developed a thyroid issue. And so the message is always, come out of the cave, come out of the cave and speak. So I know that I need to do it more to be able to heal my thyroid. I mean, it's just bottom line, I know that. So can I share the one dream since you're here? Because it's so much easier when you have someone in front of you. Because when it's just nobody, it's like, I feel like I'm talking to myself. You know? Okay, so some of you, this may resonate with you. Some of you, you may get upset. If you get upset, ask yourself why. That's all I ask. Ask yourself why, because that's really a message for you. So I was shown, and I believe I told you this dream, but this is how I have navigated almost this past year because of this dream. Last March, I was shown our current president, and he was dressed up as a ringmaster. And he had women on the left and the right in the leotard, like the circus outfit with the fishnet nylons. And they were dancing, and our current president was going down the aisle, and he was doing, splits and cartwheels and, moving his, stick. And I heard, that's not Biden. Don't worry. Sit back and enjoy the show. So I just looked at, okay, that was a message for me to just not worry about whatever's going to happen. Just look at it almost like a show, a circus show. You got to sort of because a lot of metaphors come in. They're not always literal. So that's how I've been able to navigate, because I receive a message. So anyone that maybe is concerned about what's going on, just sit back and enjoy the show, and don't attach to it, because I have no fear. I don't worry about anything that's going on. I don't watch the news, but I don't worry about anything. And I think that's when we really free ourselves. We just don't worry about anything.
Exactly. So, and as Janine said, and we'll probably get into this in some later videos or later shows, but the dream state, everything in your dream, don't take it so literal. There are just so many metaphors that appear in our dream state right there that speak to us about our waking life. But I know we're probably going to be winding down in a few minutes, but I just wanted to reiterate that, again, going back to the fear, false experience appearing real, false experience, a false experience appearing as real. So Don't let these things overtake you. Don't let them overpower you. Do not let them overwhelm you. Allow yourself to feel them. Okay, acknowledge what's going on, but then let's find that way out of the hole. Let's find that way out of the darkness right there. And don't be afraid, as I was in my own dream, with the light that's being shined for these, because these moments that come into our life, they're not meant to harm us. These things don't happen, a lot of things in life, they don't happen to us, but they happen for us.
For us, exactly. So just keep in mind that pay attention to what's going on in your body. Your body is it's always communicating with you. It's and this innate wisdom that lives in it. And when you choose to surrender to that, but any of those dark moments that you do have, just get curious.
Yeah.
Get curious with your emotions. And because when we get curious, there is no judgment attached to it. And that's what we need to dismantle, is the judgment.
Exactly.
And accept just there's no right or wrong. There is just choices. So how are you going to choose to show up in the world?
It's all about the journey.
Exactly. So I'm going to leave this note right here. This is something my coach said to me when I was going through what I was going through, is enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
It can be challenging when you're in that rabbit hole, but just remember you're not alone. There are people out there that can assist you and help you navigate through whatever it is you're going through.
Exactly.
So Quentin, how often are we going to have these? Have we decided?
You said something a few minutes ago, and this is so totally off topic, but I'm in a silly mood. But just when you said the body is a temple, we know that, we've heard it years ago. Years ago, I was with some friends, and one of my friends said that about himself. He said, my body is a temple. And then all of a sudden I just said, yes, a temple of doom. But anyway, that was I just like these silly, crazy, funny moments, but that made me think about that when you said that a few minutes ago.
Oh, see how we all look at our bodies differently.
That was one of my shadier moments right there. So,
well, see, we all have them. We all have them, right? We're all perfectly imperfect, as some people will say.
Yes.
But I think we're all just perfect, just the way we are. And we just need to learn to just let go and enjoy life a little bit more.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So how often should people expect us meeting up? What do you want to do? Should we keep it a surprise?
No, maybe a surprise. We'll just pop up with something when spirit hits us. But I feel as if spirit hits us with inspiration all the time. So who knows? We may be popping up and showing up all the time.
Guys, we may be doing this once a week. But you know what? If it can help you, we'll do it, because we're just going to follow spirit, and we're going to just relay what comes in.
Exactly. So like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Leave
on
comments.
Both channels. Yeah.
Leave comments as well too. Like leaving comments that will just give us more insight into what it is that you all need.
Yes, exactly.
As Janine said, we are in this together. So as we've learned this whole year with this whole pandemic and everything, we are in this together right here. So whatever we can do to help you all, let us know, because we're helping ourselves, we're healing ourselves. So of course we want to do that and open those doors and opportunities for people who may not have an outlet or something, in their own lives.
Yes.
So even if it's just coming to YouTube or coming to our platforms and watching this video, if that helps, then we're doing what we are meant to do.
Exactly. So if you are watching this on my YouTube, I will have a link down below where you can go and follow Quentin, and then Quentin will do the same. He'll have a link where you can come and follow me. And my our contact information is, so if we can be of service in any way, just so you can stay in touch. Quentin probably does way more videos on his YouTube than I currently do, but I will get, that's like one of my goals, to start doing more after the holidays.
Yeah.
Right now it's, getting ready for the holidays, so we're really busy doing it. But all right, so thank you all so much for watching, and again, subscribe so you know when we come put a new video, because we're not going live yet, but we will upload these videos.
Yes.
So thank you so much for watching, liking, and everyone stay safe until the next time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.